So welcome to the breathing classroom. I would like to introduce to you the team members of IBF's Conscious Breathing in the Classroom. And they have asked, what if every teacher in every school on the planet was able to bring 3 to 5 minutes of conscious breathing into the daily lives of the students in their classrooms? Now, in the face of Corona days, today they ask, how can we bring conscious breathing into the daily lives of each of the parents and kids quarantined at home? Their answer is today's international launch of the Emergency Breathing Kit for parents and kids for your Corona days at home. Over to you, JoAnn.
Hello. Thank you. Great. Happy World Breathing Day to everyone. We are really delighted to be here with you, and we welcome all of you, those of you who are parents, those of you who are kids, those of you who are neither parents or kids, but everyone of us is one of those things. And if you are a teacher, if you are someone who just would like to breathe consciously during these Corona days, we welcome you aboard. Let's all put on our kids' hats and let's have a little bit of fun. So if you haven't met me before, my name is JoAnn. And with me today is...
Hello, everyone. I'm Anıl.
I'm Brug. I'm bringing the power of breath inside out.
Thank you. Well, welcome everyone. We are part of the International Breathwork Foundation, and we are part of a regular program called Conscious Breathing in the Classroom that Greet just spoke about. But we really can imagine that we all just may be having some incredible times here in our time during these Corona days. So we want to invite you for the next few minutes to sit back and relax with us. The kit, the emergency breathing kit for parents and kids during your Corona days, we will give you the link at the very end, and you'll be able to download the PDF for that. So don't worry if you're not keeping up with us. Everything that we're going to share with you today has a script that's within that kit. So really, just allow yourself to relax and be with us here today. So I don't know what your Corona days have been like, but how familiar is this? Like being in your PJs, your pajamas. Have you been in your pajamas for 3 days? Yep, I've done that. Or have you had feelings of overwhelm or perhaps stress and anxiety? There's a lot that's going on. Yeah, and there's a lot going on, and we might not have all the same kinds of supports that we would normally have. And hey, kids, do you have a lot of energy? Like, are there sometimes you want to just get out and play and be with your friends and you have a lot of built up energy? Well, maybe today we can figure out some ways to let it out, because, you know, sometimes we say better out than in. Also in your lives, you know, we may find that we've got no routine. I have no idea what day it is today. Seriously. Well, it's World Breathing Day, but there's days I keep thinking it's Sunday, but for 7 days in a row, that can be a little bit of a problem, you know. And you may find that you are dealing with fears. There's a lot of unknowns in the future as we're going through a planetary change. We're going through internal changes. But one thing for sure, we're all in this together. Another thing you may be finding is that maybe your sleep is disrupted, or if there's nap times, those might be disrupted as well. And so as we move through our day, we will hopefully give you a few exercises and some help to help out with all those things. Because when we look now at COVID-19, it's a lung disease. And perhaps its deeper meaning is it's asking us all to learn to breathe. So imagine breathing in, we're filling up. And imagine we breathe out, we let go, we release. And imagine as we breathe in, we're going inwards. And as we breathe out, we're going to express. There's this incredible thing right under our nose all the time, and it's our breath and it's ours. And so no matter where you are in the world watching with us, we want to help you become good friends with this wonderful thing, our breath that's with us all the time. So in this session, with parents and with kids both, we're going to learn how to maybe take breaks in the day for breathing. It might be 30 seconds, 1 minute, 3 minutes, with some conscious breathing. And we really see the conscious breathing as being the glue that's kind of part of the reset button for this time, together with having movement, exercise, getting out in nature. But again, it's no matter what you're doing and where you are, it's really, really easy to come to your conscious breath. So those of us who are with you today, we are all conscious. We all teach conscious breathing. We're all professional breath workers. And I think three of us are parents, one of us is a teacher. And so we know that we've been working with conscious breathing for a long while, but you may find that this is something that's new to you. So what are some of the benefits of conscious breathing? Well, we find that when we need to bring focus to our day, that having a few breaths can bring us right into an alignment. And we find that if we are having some anxiety or fears, we can calm ourselves just with, again, 3 or 4 breaths. If we are having some need to get energized and have a little bit higher optimism, we can do that with our conscious breathing. It can help us release energy in a healthy way, including anger and some of those pent-up feelings. It helps both of us as kids and as parents to self-regulate and to self-soothe. If one has post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, there are very specific breathing techniques just for that. And it can help us ease into our sleep and into our nap time. One of the questions we sometimes get is, what's the difference between mindfulness and conscious breathing? And so mindfulness and conscious breathing go beautifully hand in hand. From my understanding of mindfulness, it's usually part of meditation and bringing people into a meditative state at points in the day, both parents and kids. And breathing, 1 or 2 kind of breathing exercises are a part of that. So what we teach with what we're doing is just straight up breathing exercises. And if you want to bring it as part of a meditation, you can. But one thing with mindfulness is you need to have training, and you usually get certified. And here, you don't have to do that. You can just have some fun with us and take your kit and you can experiment with it. And we really want to encourage you to feel really at home with your own breathing. So how about right now, let's just all close our eyes for a moment and take a deep breath in and make a nice big sigh on the exhale. And take another deep breath in and make a nice sigh, and add some movement, jiggle a little bit, yeah. And take another deep breath in and movement and a sigh. And let's do that just one more time. Deep breath in and sigh. Whoa, and wiggle. Whoa. How's that? Wow. Over here where I am, it's morning, so that just woke me up. I don't know about you. Maybe some things you just let go. But always a good thing is to pay attention to, I'm seeing some fingers up, some people going, yep. So, it's always good to pay attention to how you feel before and how you feel, during and after a breathing exercise. So just before we'll go into the breathing exercises with you, we want to start with you, dear parents, because, you are the one who's holding holding together everything for your family, for your kids. And so, when we go flying and they say, put the oxygen mask on yourself first. Well, that's what we're asking of you to do here too, is that in order for us to care for our kids and for our family, we know we need to have self-care with ourselves and to be kind with ourselves. for what you do as a parent, you are doing the most important job in the world. And if anyone didn't tell you that today, then among yourselves, tell yourself that a lot. Because I know my daughter was very young, that really, really helped me when I would remember, oh my gosh, we're doing the most important job in the world. And kids, you're doing also the most important job in the world, which is just being yourself, like really being all that you are. And if you didn't know it, your parents have a little kid inside of them too. So we've all got a little bit of the kid inside of us. So dear parents, you may find that your days are full and there's not too many places to go and get a bit of a time for yourself. And so we highly suggest that you make yourself a Corona throne. And I don't know, in our culture, we call the bathroom, the toilet, the throne. We'll call it your Corona throne. And just close that door. And when you're in there, take a few breaths and really make them conscious breaths. And really see yourself coming back into balance, back into calm, back into energy, whatever it is that you're needing. And really give yourself those moments. And that's the beauty of the breath. You can be doing that throughout the day. You might find that you could find a moment before you go to bed at night, or it might be first thing in the morning. But before you start with all that you do with your family, start with yourself. So the breathing exercises we'll be introducing, we're going to be doing them by age, with the youngest, and then maybe the kids elementary school and high school age. And so parents, a lot of the breaths that we're breathing exercises will be available for you when they say all ages or adult too, but particularly the ones for the high school students, kids, are going to be applicable for you. So start playing with those on your own. And then any of the ones that you're going to be breathing with your kids, we have a script for every single one of those ones that we're going to be introducing. So just have some fun with this yourself, but really take care of yourself. Put your oxygen mask on first. And now we're going to go over to Anıl, who's going to start with the breathing exercises, starting with the youngest age. And you can carry on. What ages those are, Anıl?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the preschoolers, especially the little ones between 3 and 7 years old. But we start with the core breath practice. This is for all ages, actually. And you can try, different durations with the little ones, 1 to 3 minutes, or sometimes just 30 seconds. We do these exercises while we're sitting and closing our eyes. But also, especially preschoolers, it's not easy for them to focus or to push them to close their eyes. So when they don't want to close their eyes, just it's okay. They can find a focus point in the room and they can just look through their focus point. So this eliminates them to be like during the exercise. Okay, and that's the core breath practice, and this is for the awareness of breath, to focus and to observe. Especially, this is for all ages. So we need a
Okay. Listen to the sound of the bell, and close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And listen until you can no longer hear it. And when you can no longer hear the bell, start to bring your awareness to your breathing.
Bring your attention to your breath. Put your hands on your belly. Feel your belly popping out as you breathe in. And feel your belly flatten as you breathe out. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your nose. Belly rising and belly falling. As you continue to breathe in this way, notice what you feel in your body. Notice how your breath fills your belly and up into your chest. Keeping one hand on your belly and one hand up into your chest. Notice how your hands on your belly and chest rise and fall with each inhale and exhale. Notice how it feels, like a balloon filling up. And then gently letting all the air spill out. Notice how your breath fills your hands, every cell of your brain, your legs, your feet, your heart, your shoulders, your fingers, your voice, your eyes, etc. Now relax your hands and let them rest on the tops of your legs. Bring your breathing back to its normal rhythm.
As you hear the sound of the bell, start to bring your awareness back to the room. You can wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Take a nice deep stretch. Your hands to the sky and back down again.
Yeah. So, how do you feel? Great. Yeah, I see thumbs up. Yeah, when you finished all those breathing exercises, share your feelings with the kids, with the children, and ask them how they feel. And yeah, tell them how you feel, maybe peaceful, relaxed, calm, or honestly, still a bit anxious, then you need more breathing exercises, maybe. I will tell you about about a very funny exercise right now. Just all you need is one plastic globe. So everyone knows this. This is like our best friends in those days. And one paper cup and a straw. So we put our gloves onto the paper cup and we make a hole in between. That straw can go in, and then we breathe in our nose, and then we breathe out from the mouth and blow it. After a couple of breaths, the gloves just get off, and you can do the same thing again and again and again. It's a nice icebreaker, especially for starting those breathing exercises with the preschoolers and also with the elementary school kids. So this is also for breath awareness. This is also very good for breath awareness and balancing the breath. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And now I'm going to show you another fun exercise, and it's called Tarzan breath. I'm sure from your childhood, everyone knows Tarzan. And do you remember how Tarzan yells? Ah! So we will use our breath. When we breathe out, we will yell like Tarzan. And when we breathe in, we will breathe from our nose. And we will use our fists while we are breathe out. And we will do yelling and the beat apart our upper chest. So let's try together. Breathe in from your nose. And then start yelling and beat yourself. So how do you feel? More energy? Yeah. That's a very good exercise actually to raise the energy, but balance also the energy. So yeah, it's a good exercise before homeschooling or online learning videos and online learning to start online learning, I think. and even before, even before the meals, and for some of the activities that you would like to focus the kids, especially. And so for preschoolers, we know that those preschool kids, they love colors, and they also learn with games. So that's why we call it breathing games with the little ones. So you can do that glow exercise, and you can always use the straw to breathe in and breathe out like a wind breath, or you can always use little balls, yeah, with the straws on the floor. They can just blow these balls, and they can have fun. And you can always put all this stuff in a box, and you can call it like breathing box, and then they can see it, and you can use it every day for some certain times with them. And if you don't have any of this, you can even do some mountain breath, like this. You can do with your hands. You can draw a mountain, or you can even just do it with your hand. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in from your nose and breathe out from your mouth, or breathe out from your nose again. Or you can use always your hands. You can always use breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in from your nose and breathe out from your mouth. Breathe in from your nose and breathe out from your mouth. And do it to the back again. You can always do these exercises while the kids can draw their own hands onto a paper, and they can do it with their own hands. And you can always encourage the kids to draw their own breath, the color of their breath, or the picture of their breath, how they feel it after those exercises. So that's it from me right now, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Anıl. That's beautiful. So exactly what Anıl has just said is for this youngest age group, games is the way to go. And so now we're going to move on into the elementary age kids, so ages 8 to 10 roughly. And so we still have some bubbles as one of the games that we can do. Whoops, here we go. But instead of trying to pop the bubbles, they can be a breathing exercise, where you're taking breaths in slow, or maybe you're doing it really fast, like this, so you can have a lot of games with those. And I think now my computer has a little bit of bubbles on it. So in this age group, the elementary school kids, ages 8 to 10 roughly, we find that the kids, you have a longer attention span. And so you can pay attention, but it's still a little bit like play attention. So still it's nice to make things still a little bit of some fun. This is an age where there's more independence, and inside there can be shifting things happening, a soul change where there may be deep internal changes happening. And when you're doing your schoolwork, this may be a time when tests start to come into the schoolwork. And so breathing before, breathing during tests can be something that can be really helpful. So we're going to start off in this age group with a relaxing breath. And of course, this is a breathing exercise that is good for all of us, all ages, because almost all the things that really can be really important in life, we really find that when we relax before we sing, when we relax before we speak, when we relax before we start to run and use our breath, that it can be very helpful to have ourselves very much relaxed in our bodies. So this breath is usually a duration of about 1 to 3 minutes. And we can calm anxiety, we can relax, and it helps us before resting. So those naps and those sleep times, this is a good breath for that as well. So listen to the sound of the bell and close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And start to bring your awareness to your breathing. Relax and notice your breath. Breathe in your normal rhythm and notice how your breath enters and comes into your nose and how your breath comes out through your nose. And notice how you feel. Notice your body. Notice your feelings. And as you continue to breathe, notice your inhale. Notice how long your inhale is. And if you can just count slowly inside to yourself, give a count to your inhale. So if your inhale is to the count of, say, 1, 2, 3, now I'm going to ask you to double the length of your exhale. So if your inhale was a count of 3, now let your exhale be the count of 6, more or less. So a nice, long, relaxed exhale. Breathing in your nose and breathing out your nose with a doubled exhale. And continue breathing in this way. And notice how you feel. Allow your shoulders to drop. On each exhale, let your jaw relax. Feel your tongue drop to the bottom of your mouth. And feel everything moving downwards and into the earth as you breathe out. Continue breathing in this way for a couple more breaths. Listen to the sound of the bell. And when you can no longer hear the sound of the bell, bring your breathing back to its normal rhythm. And just in your own time, when you're ready, you can wiggle your toes and wiggle your fingers and maybe just stretch your body a little bit. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And bring your awareness back to the room and to each other. Oh my, I'm seeing some very smiling faces. And I don't know, but within your own self, just check in. How do you feel? How do you feel when you just did that? And you know, sometimes I feel myself rushed or a bit anxious. I just do 3 breaths like that. And it completely changes how I am and how I'm feeling. So at this point now, I'm going to pass you over to Luke, who's going to introduce you to the second of our breaths for this age group. Over to you, Luke.
Hi. Relaxing is not always the only way out when you are tense or very angry, especially for those younger kids. Sometimes you need a different approach. Working out your anger, for example, can be a solution. But how do we do that in an acceptable way? Therefore, we have the woodcutter's breath. Let's have a look. Stand up with your feet slightly spread and your eyes open. Take the handle of an axe to chop wood. lift the handle above your head in order to chop the wood. Oh, just a moment. This doesn't seem a safe way to act. Let's do it without axe and hands-free. Take always care, work safely for yourself and for the others. Take the axe, lift the axe high above your head, and in between you inhale. And then you let drop the axe swiftly down while exhaling. And in the meantime, you make an expressive yell, "Hi!" Okay? And when you are down here, you stay relaxed. Your head and hands, arms are hanging down like a rag doll for 2 deep inhales, relaxing inhales. Then you slowly come back upright and we continue. Ready? Take the handle. So we lift up, inhale, then let fall, let drop it, while exhaling strongly and expressively and screaming, "Hey!" Okay? Let's start. Lift, inhale, drop swiftly, "Hey!" Hang down. 2 relaxing breaths. Straight up. Take the handle, lift it up, and back again, up, and once more, lift your hand and drop, "Hey!" Breathe. And come upright. So, we can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that 3 times, 4 times, depending on the anger. And it's very nice. It's just a release for those kids and for adults as well. Now, I make a bridge to the teenagers and adults, or youngsters are growing up, and they're recognizing more their own individuality. They develop more self-awareness. So in their puberties, 13 years, 18 years, this requires a great adaptability on the part of the parents and of the adolescents. They are both in a huge learning process. In this context, these breathing exercises are a form of frustration or even stress management for both parties. It's actually all about consciousness, making choices, wondering what is going on here, what's going on with me, what effect would I like to achieve when I choose a breath, and with which exercise I'm going to achieve this for myself, for my teenager. And in fact, those breathing exercises are just tilting moments that creates another energy from a blocked situation into an active one, or from the impossible to possible. Movement often is linked to lots of exercises, which helps to get movement into the mindset as well. And of course, they cause a lot of fun. And mind, breathing, laughter is a breathing exercise in itself. Mm-hmm. So let's take action now. Do you recognize this? This is a bike pump. And now we are going to inflate the tire.
Oh.
You take your pump in your left hand. You pull out the handle and you bring it to your left knee. When you are exhaling, you push the pump, the handle, inside. While you are inhaling, you put it out. But exhaling, you do this very strongly. I show you. Now, we do it a bit faster and stronger. Ready? Now, hands free. You don't need anything. Pull. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, in, out, and stop. Okay. Stand up.
Yeah.
Close your eyes. Let your arms hang down and feel what has changed within. Breathe slowly. Here we can stop, but if you want, and if it is appropriate, you can go on staying in silence and you can make a short meditation of it. So, when do we use that exercise? Actually, it's an energizer. It's a playful energizer, and it's very good to interrupt moments you feel dull, you feel you're sick of what you are doing, you can't focus, drowsy, lethargic. Well, you can interrupt that process to refresh yourself, to have movement, to take air inside. Or with younger children, you can interrupt their quarrels and turn them into fun. So, and what do you need? You don't need an axe. You don't need the pump. All we need is the air that we breathe, and you love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. Thank you so much. So I wonder, before I introduce this next breath, you could show a little bit of the capacity of the lungs by blowing into your balloon. Could you show us that? Because I'm going to be doing the next breath, the balancing breath, and it really uses a lot of lung capacity, but it really helps to see it with the balloon. Could you do that for us, please?
This is a balloon. Nothing in, but everything is in my chest.
Our lungs are filled on the inhale, and our lungs
are empty after the exhale. And all my air has gone. So, and we need a lot of energy to deal with tension and anger. And when we blow our hair in the air, we get rid of tensions, and we offer several ways to get rid of it. Now, JoAnn,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to let it go and make a nice
Okay.
sound. Kids, you can do this at home.
Yes. And if we don't work it out, we can react in strange ways, uncontrolled. So like this balloon.
Thank you, Luke. So now moving on to our last breathing exercise for the parents and adults. I'm going to introduce you to the balancing breath. And this is actually good for ages 5 up to 18, up to adults. But particularly, this is a time that we're living in where we may have a lot of anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. And so when we are in a highly activated state in our sympathetic system, then we may be very active and overwhelmed and over the top. And when we are very activated in our parasympathetic system, very low field breath. Can you guys still see me? Am I okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. So with this particular breathing exercise, this is a kind of a practice that you could take forward all the way through all of your days, your months, and into your life. One of the things that I've been coming to realize is that in our modern day life, a lot of us have different levels of PTSD. And so this is, we're going to go through this exercise, but I'm going to tell you that we could actually, encourage ourselves to make this a regular practice in our lives. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be really slowing down our breath. And so in fact, for parents, if this would be something you can do on your Corona throne when you're on your own or when the kids are in bed. And then also teens, you are an emerging adult. You are moving into this world of adult responsibilities. And, the weight of the world should never sit on the shoulders of any of us. And so when we come to this kind of a breathing, we start to really feel ourselves come into balance, where we can start to have a sense of clarity. We can start to feel like we've got our feet on the ground. We feel our calm, but we feel our active self in a balanced way. So this is called the balancing breath, and you'll find it in your kit. It's based on the coherent breathing by Stephen Elliott, and this has science behind it, as do all our breathing exercises. And so they've definitely found that when you make a regular practice of this over several months, that all of the different kind of symptoms of PTSD really start to reduce. So, so generally we would be doing this with the adult high school kids, maybe starting 7 to 8 breaths per minute, but we'll be moving to 6 breaths per minute, which is 5 seconds for an inhale and 5 seconds for an exhale. It's a really long breath. But for the younger kids, again, just like Anıl was showing us, that just make it kind of fun. And so the younger kids can just do 8 to 10 breaths per minute for just a minute or two. And so when we are going to start with this, I'm just going to, I think I'm just going to demonstrate and just invite you to take part of this. So just feel your feet on the ground, and you can close your eyes if you feel comfortable with that. And we're going to, first of all, as we slow down our breath, we'll start with a clearing breath. And this is going to be breathing in our mouth and out our nose, just so that we can really expand our capacity. So now just take a nice deep breath in and breathe out your nose. And now breathing in through the nose. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In your nose, 3, 4, 5. Out your nose, 3, 4, 5. In your nose, 3, 4, 5. Out your nose, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last time, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just start bringing your breathing back to its normal rhythm. You may notice you have a much bigger lung capacity. Notice how you feel in your relaxed part of yourself. Notice how you feel in your active part of yourself. I see a lot of relaxed people here. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes, just take a little stretch. Again, move your body. And as you start to get into the rhythm of this, in fact, you can start to just not even have to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can start to just go, in, out. You had your eyes closed, so I couldn't show you this. So in, and after a while, you start to get to know what 5 seconds is. And so one thing that it can be fun with the kids, if you're more than one kid, or even if you're the only kid, teenager in the family, you could be the orchestra conductor. People can take turns being the orchestra conductor. And then those do this together as a family. You can all be doing this and have one of you take a turn being the conductor. But I don't know about you, but I feel very, very relaxed after that and really calm. And part of the practice with that you can go forward with is what we call 3, 6, 5. So if you do that 3 times a day, 6 breaths per minute for 5 minutes, 3 times a day. And if you keep with that for a matter of weeks and months, the science shows that all those things around anxiety and various things that have to do with PTSD, they all start to subside. And so here we have this most magical thing, our breathing. And here it is, right under our nose. We don't have to take all those meds or any of those other things. So that's our breathing exercises that we've wanted to show you. And each and every one of them is in the kit with a script for you to be able to say them to each other. And so now you may want to know a little bit about how to integrate this into your day. So you may find that you might have found that you don't have too much of a routine in these Corona days. And so that's one of the things that really can help. I know my niece, the first week with her 11-year-old and 14-year-old, just left them to their own devices at home, and they were a little bit fighting, and they were on the computer and really not getting along. And then once she put in a routine, then they really are really happy. And so what we want to suggest is, as you bring in a routine into your day, which you may have already done, is you might want to consider like the in-breath and the out-breath in the way that you bring in the routine. And so the in-breath going more inwards might be reading, or it might be something like knitting or something creative. And then the out-breath might be something like exercise, or maybe there's 1 hour in the day where you can socialize online with your friends, but then come back into the in-breath of maybe now with your lessons, and then the out breath, maybe some kind of a creativity, and then another in breath, out breath with nature. So just, it's really nice to take the day in a routine like that. And we find that as you're breathing, it really can help to have an intention. So you may, for these times, have an intention of healing, vitality, protection, perhaps connection, gratitude. It really makes a difference when we do these exercises to have gratitude. And again, notice how you feel before you breathe, and notice how you feel afterwards. Because really, don't take my word or our word for it. Take your own experience as your own expertise in how you feel. And you may be sending, you may be receiving as you're breathing in and as you're breathing out. So the in-breath may be receiving, and the out-breath may be sending somewhere out into the world. And really, you may want to connect to a larger sense of whole, because we can start to feel sometimes a little bit perhaps isolated, because we are in self-isolation, a lot of us. And so it really helps to connect to the larger whole, that breathe with the air, with the earth, or consider where you are in the continuum between your ancestors and your descendants, and that there's a larger picture in this continuum, and that we're in this, you know. And again, just weave your breathing throughout the day. It might be at the beginning of meals, it might be at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, before a lesson, or just in the moment you're going to do a Tarzan breath, or just in the moment you need to do that woodcutter's breath, because that's what's arising in the moment. And really what we really want to encourage is that you keep it simple. So KISS, K-I-S-S, keep it simple, silly, or keep it simple, sweetie. You know, so this may be new for many of us. So just, if there's one or two of the breathing exercises that you really like, just give it a try. Go with those one or two and give it a try. These are all safe. There's no way you can do any of this wrong. And we want you to know that we have a Facebook page where you can go and ask questions and get support. And it's The Breathing Classroom, and that's on Facebook, and you can join the group. And now for your kits, if you hadn't got this piece of information before, you can go to our webpage on the internet. Our webpage is on the International Breathwork Foundation site. And the email address is thebreathingclassroom.com. Thebreathingclassroom.com. So when you go to that webpage, you'll see right at the top, there'll be an announcement about this emergency breathing kit for parents and kids during your Corona days. And there's a place there where you can simply download a PDF. And we will be having this video available. Well, you're watching it, so therefore it is available already. But you can spread the word to whomever you want. We are all volunteers as part of the International Breathwork Foundation. And we're really, really honored to be able to be in service in this way in these times. And so you want to know that our larger program that this sort of emerged out of is called Conscious Breathing in the Classroom. And especially if you're parents at home with your kids, you're now a teacher in a classroom. So we also, at our same website, thebreathingclassroom.com, you can go there and you can find that program, which is Conscious Breathing in the Classroom, where we bring 3 to 5 minutes of conscious breathing into the day. And there's a manual that you'll be able to get. Once you register, a manual will be sent to you. It takes a few days because we're still volunteers. And we want to announce too that we have an April rebroadcast of our training that we did on a live stream from last summer. And that live stream is now videoed, and we have that available. And once you register, you'll get the link for that as well. So we've really hopefully got you covered, and we really want you to have a lot of fun with this. And one last thing, we've been asked already if there's a need for translation. And yes, indeed, if you are someone in any other language than English, actually I think we have Polish, French, German, and Turkish covered already. But if any other language of the world, if you want to get a hold of us, you can go to thebreathingclassroom.com, or we have our email is thebreathingclassroom@ibfbreathwork.org. thebreathingclassroom@ibfbreathwork.org. And so just before I wrap up with a little nice surprise for you, I just want to say, we're just really all together, we're in this together, and what we all have in common in our humanity and our hearts is also our breath. And it's our breath, and it's for free, and it's right here, right under our nose. And so when we all breathe together, we all come together, and we are able to be in that state of oneness together. So thank you for joining in, and I just want to conclude then with a fun song that we've been playing with that is called Wash Your Hands, Take a Breath. And so if you want to do some of the motions with me, you are more than welcome. And here we go. Wash the fronts of your hands, take a breath. Wash the backs of your hands, take a breath. Wash the fronts, wash the backs, take a breath. Wash the fronts and the backs of your hands. Wash the fingers on the fronts of your hands. Wash your fingers on the backs of your hands. Wash your fingers. Wash your fingers. Wash the fingers on the front and the back. Wash your nails in the palm of your hand. Wash your nails in the palm of your hands. Wash your thumbs. Wash your thumbs. Wash your thumbs and the nails of your hands. Wash your wrist at the base of your hand. Wash your wrist at the base of your hand. Wash your hand. Take a breath. Wash your wrists and your thumbs and your nails and your fingers and the fronts and the backs of your hands. Woohoo! Stay safe. We're all in this together, and keep washing your hands. Lots of love from us to you.
Thank you, JoAnn. This was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.